Today I'm sharing hacks to save money. These are great hacks for anyone. There's a bunch in here too if you're a family and you've got kids, got lots of ideas. Everything seems to be getting more expensive, so I'm always on the lookout for ways to save money and share them with you. So today I'm going to share some things that we do, and maybe we'll give you some inspiration on things that you can implement. If you're going out with the kids, then just walk wherever you're going if you can. We like to walk to the library or the playground. Sometimes I honestly think the kids have more fun on the walk and the journey there than they do at the actual destination. So I like to just walk there. Not only does it save gas and money, I just think it gives a good experience. If you've seen some of my shorts, you know I love to go thrifting. I think that thrifting is perfect for kitchen items. When you want to save money, go to the thrift store. I often find pretty much brand new kitchen items. That could be anything from like pots and pans or dishes or bakeware. You just want to be careful what you're buying, but just give it a little inspection. Make sure that it doesn't have any scratches, especially if you're buying non-stick things. And it's a great place to find kitchen items. Oh, and water bottles as well. My kids are constantly losing water bottles at school. They are like $30 a piece, but then you can get them at the thrift store for like $2 or $3. And so that's what I've been doing. And they have nice brands of water bottles at the thrift store. It's not just like cheap plastic ones. I find nice glass ones and stainless steel ones. So I just scoop those up. These next two tips are things you can do when you're thinking of spending money, but you don't want to do it and you want to stay on track. So one thing that I used to do a lot, and sometimes I still do, is I will put a Post-it note in my wallet and I will stick it either on my credit card or my debit card, and I will write down my money goals. I know it may sound a little bit strange, but back in the day, right after I graduated from college and I wasn't making much money, I used to do that. And every time I was out somewhere and I was deciding if I was going to buy something and I would see that Post-it note reminding me of my goals, and I would just stop for a second and be like, this is my goal. I'm going to put my credit card back in my purse, or I'm going to put my debit card back in my purse, and I'm not going to buy that. And then another tip kind of along the same lines is if you're shopping online, I always look online and I find things I want to buy, and then I close the browser. I don't just close my computer or walk away from my computer. I close the entire browser so that if I want to go back to that same store, I have to actually remember to do it. Then I have to go type that store into the computer. And honestly, like 90% of the time, I don't even go back to that store. And sometimes I'll go back months later and I'll have a cart and I'm like, oh, what's in this cart here? And I'll look at my cart and I'll see the things that I was thinking of many months ago that I didn't purchase. And it's just a good trick if you just want to be a little bit more mindful of what you're purchasing and what you're bringing into your home, because we all know clutter is a huge issue for many of us. This next one I have done for many, many years, at least over a decade, but it is, if you get a raise at work, do not raise your lifestyle to meet your new raise. Continue to live with the same budget in the same way that you lived in your lower salary. We do this in many ways. We're still driving a car from 2004 and we take our kids to school in it. You know, we live in a place where the school is about a 6-minute drive, so we don't take it on like long trips or anything. And then we do have a car that we bought new about 7 years ago. That was my very first new car, not just new to me, but new car that I've ever gotten. So we try to just be very careful not to continually raise our lifestyle, raise our standard of living, the more raises that we get at work. And this really helps us so that we can start saving money and have money for the future. Another way that we like to save money is we make a lot of things from scratch. A lot of people will tell you to make bread from scratch, and there's a reason why. It is so easy to make and it is so much more delicious. And you will make bread for like 25 cents a loaf if you can do it at home. You don't even need a bread machine. I have a bread machine. It has come in very handy because I use it to make different kinds of breads, pizza dough, even cakes. But you don't need a bread machine. You can just make it by hand. And I like to do that. So things I make from scratch, I will make bread, of course, and all the baked goods. I don't buy baked goods at the store anymore. I make those myself. I also make things like taco seasonings or different kinds of seasonings. I make hummus from scratch, just with like a can of chickpeas, or even the dried chickpeas, you can make it. There are a number of things you can make from scratch and it'll taste better. Put your thermostat on a schedule. This is key. If you can come up with a schedule in your home for your heating and cooling and just leave it on that schedule, you will end up saving a lot of money and it's very convenient. And then also with home energy, this is kind of like a bigger one, but I wanted to throw it in here because we did this a long time ago. About 12 years ago, we put solar panels on the roof of our home. It has been life-changing for us. We do not pay for energy. We get money back for the energy that we don't use. We get it back. We sell the power to the grid, and so we get those RECs back. But the area where we live in, we ended up getting so many tax credits that it wasn't that expensive to buy the solar panels outright and get them installed. And in some cases, in a lot of cities, people want your roof space, so they will put the panels for free so that they can get the energy, and then in turn, you have an agreement with them where you don't pay energy. Look into it. I cannot say enough good things about solar panels. We are in an area where we get enough sun, and especially if you're in a place where there's a lot of sun, it is a no-brainer to me. I don't know why everybody who can do it does not have solar panels on their house. Okay, of course, paper products. We've stopped buying paper towels. We've stopped buying paper napkins. If you followed me, you know I love my microfiber towels, but any other reusable paper towels will do. They make these bamboo-y ones that I also have, which I love. Just throw them into the washing machine and they're as good as new. Same with the fabric napkins. I'm not sure how much money this one saves, but I bet it does save a good amount, but I don't preheat my oven. So anytime I'm using my oven and something needs to go into it, I will put the item in, then turn the oven on, and it only adds like a minute or two to the cooking time. I mean, ovens heat pretty fast, but sometimes you start a recipe and they tell you to turn on your oven, and then you've had your oven on for half an hour before you get your actual dish into it. So my advice is don't preheat your oven. That will not only save energy, it will also save you money. You should also get rid of any unnecessary subscriptions. Subscriptions are like death by 1,000 cuts. If you can, a lot of times in your phone, you can see what subscriptions you're paying for. Just check your emails, do an audit, make sure that you're not paying for something that you're not using. I'm completely guilty of this, especially having a YouTube channel. There's so many different subscriptions that I have, like for like a music library or like a design software. And sometimes I use it and then sometimes I don't. And then I get a bill and it's on that auto pay and I'm like, oh my gosh, $15 and I didn't use this in the last month. So don't do what I do, just audit your subscriptions, and that is a great way to save money because those small subscriptions really start to add up. And then of course, make your own cleaning products. This is something that I've given this tip like 10 times, but I'm just throwing it in there. I used to spend lots and lots of money on cleaning supplies, and ironically, my house was so much dirtier when I used to do that. Now I make my own cleaning supplies, and it's just super cheap and super simple, and I know what it is. It's just soap, water, vinegar, natural things. Next tip is to bike places. If it is less than a mile or two, take your bike. And if you don't have a bike, I say invest in one. I love it. I bike all the time. I bike to work, which is about 4 miles away. If I'm quickly going to the store, I will bike there. It's just so much better for you anyway, but it also saves you money on gas. And for me, where I live, there's a lot of traffic, so it saves me time. Another thing you can do is to use your old technology for a longer period of time than you think. You don't need a new phone every time Apple comes out and announces a new phone. Try to make your phone last as long as possible, and that will save you money over time. Another way we save money is we got rid of cable TV. Our next step will probably be getting rid of like Netflix and those subscriptions I mentioned. We're still kind of hanging on, but I'm telling you, cable TV, it's a lot of money, and I don't really take advantage of all the things that it offers. I thought when we stopped our cable TV service that it would be like really difficult and I would be upset. I didn't even notice it. I didn't even care. It was bizarre. I was so worried. We put it off for years. I'm so glad I did that, and it is a great way to save money. We are saving at least $130 a month because of it. Another way to save money, and I have been doing this my entire adult life, it is to pack your lunch and bring it to work. If you eat out every day, that's like $10 to $12 a day. And if you're going to work 3, 4, 5 times a week, that is really gonna add up. I like to bring my lunch and just eat at my desk. Not only is it saving money, it's also healthier. I control the ingredients that I'm eating. And a lot of times I can actually leave work earlier because I'm kind of working through my lunch, and then I get to go home a little bit earlier because I didn't actually really take a lunch break or spend a lot of time going out to get lunch or out to eat. And then along the same lines of making your lunch at home, I also make my coffee at home. I don't think that this is gonna save you like a ton of money unless you're going to like Starbucks every day, but I do like making coffee at home. I have perfected the way I make my coffee and I love it, and it's definitely saving me at least $3 a day. than if I were to get it out. And I actually usually drink 2 cups of coffee, so maybe it's technically saving me $6 a day. But I think making your coffee at home, making your food at home, these are all great ways just to save a little bit of money, and it starts to add up over the long run. Another way to save on your energy costs, and this will actually save you 3 to 5%, is lower your water heater by 10 degrees. You won't even notice this when you do it. It's not like you're gonna have less hot water. Maybe if you were taking like 10 showers, you would notice. But we've done this, we've lowered our hot water heater, and it does not make any impact whatsoever on our home. So I recommend checking that out. Okay, these next 2 are kind of like about beauty things, but one is about manicures and pedicures. I have stopped getting these. I used to get them regularly. I wanted to have nice nails. I just do my nails at home. You know, I kind of learned how to do them. I figured out a polish that I really like, and I can link it if you're interested. It's like, seriously, this foolproof cure by London Town. I've talked about it a bit, but it's my favorite, and it just, I feel like I look like I've had my nails done, but I just did it at home in like 5 minutes. And then I only cut my hair twice a year. I think this is something that's a little bit harder if your hair is shorter, but because my hair is a bit longer, I can kind of stretch out my time in between haircuts. My haircuts cost about $80 before tip. And so if I'm going to cut my hair 4 times a year, that's several $100s versus if I'm just going to do it twice a year, $160. So I do like to just stretch out the time in between my haircuts. If you can't go just twice a year, play around with it and see what works. But it's just one of those things that you can do to lower your cost throughout the year a little bit, and then it will add up over time. So those are my tips. If you're looking for more money saving tips, tricks, I've got them. I will link them here. So go ahead and click on this video, and I will see you over there. Bye-bye.